I'm Randy Taylor with TaylorMade Leadership. I've been working with many of the top advisors across this country for the past 22 years, and I wanted to provide this overview to you of what the key elements are in senior practice management. These are all the key elements that I work with advisors in through private individual coaching called E.P.I.C, Elite Performance Individual Coaching. So my question to you off the top is your practice where you would hope for it to be at this moment in time? Chances are, if you're watching this overview right now, there are some areas that you're concerned about perhaps and wondering about. So I will start by talking about the very top advisors. Again, having worked in this field for the past 22 years has given some tremendous insight into this. Something that I talk about in conferences and meetings all the time is the 2% success solution. And the question to you is, what are the 2% doing that the 98% are not? And my answer to you, quite honestly, is what they're doing is so much less than what the average person knows it to be. And so we'll go through a couple of very brief questions off the top to you. The top advisors, the very top advisors, the top 2%, are they doing something that other advisors are not aware of or couldn't find out about? Is it a secret? What's the answer? The answer is no. So if what they're doing is not a secret, could you find out those elements of senior practice management and then create a similar plan to them on a daily, weekly, and monthly and yearly basis? What's the answer? The answer is, of course. And the final element in this, if you did that and then were able to maintain the behaviors and disciplines of the very top advisors, here's the question, and I want you to think about this very carefully. If you do what they do consistently, will you get what they get? What's the answer? And the answer is, of course, yes, you will. And so there is no real mystique to what it is that the top advisors are doing. They're doing all the right things. They're doing it with a very well thought out plan on a weekly basis. And they have the disciplines and behaviors to do this, to have a bad day, to have a bad week, and to not change anything and to keep going. And so therein lies the magic of what the top advisors are doing. And I'll spend a couple of moments briefly and go through some of the key elements of senior practice management that these other, top advisors are doing. Number one, their management of their time is so specific, something that we work with advisors on called the self-directed success solution, in being able to wake up every morning and have your entire day planned in complete detail by calendar hour. So ask the question, if you did that every day for the next 365 days, you planned out in the evening the perfect plan for the next day, woke up the next day, executed it by calendar hour, and got everything done, how would it affect your practice and your life? The answer that I've seen over 20 years is, at minimum, will double your income and productivity. Next is new business development. And I understand that, the vast majority of advisors are going to sit down at the end of the year and they're going to plan out their goals and objectives for the coming year. But what the top advisors do, and what we teach that is essential, is being able to estimate, the mathematical calculation of how to achieve those goals and targets. And this is typically what is missing in the practice of so many advisors that are not really where they want to be. So they identify their goals and objectives for the year, then they estimate how much activity in different specific areas is going to be necessary to secure one new client. And then based on that, they would do the mathematical calculation and then divide that by 52 weeks. Again, this is something that anyone can do, but that will provide the impetus and the structure in order to be able to hit your goals on a regular basis. And this is what the top advisors are doing. Next is a very, very different branding statement for the marketplace. So many people, go out into the marketplace with that so-called elevator speech. I'm sure you have one. You hear many people around you having that elevator speech, the value proposition to the client of why they should consider meeting with you and doing business with you. But typically, all of the elevator speeches that you see and you hear about are all advisor facing. It's about the advisor. And in order to change this and stand out and make yourself completely different, it has to be turned around and the light shone on the client. So it has to be absolutely client focused. And that will assist you to completely stand out in the marketplace. Another pillar of senior practice management is an A+ client service model, something that is very detailed and very structured and very doable. So the end game of this is a very detailed client segmentation process in the beginning, then assigning superior client service elements to your top clients, including very superior relationship development or emotional touches, as we refer to them in the program. And then being able to, for the entire year, think about this with your practice, that every one of your top clients, every service element for every one of your top clients, there is a reminder scheduled in your calendar for the entire year. And then you are able to go back and do what you intended to do, which was take care of your clients and grow your practice. That is absolutely essential for the top advisors that get to the top and stay there. The next is the platinum referral process. There are so many people in this business that just talk and teach over and over and over again, ask for referrals, ask for referrals, ask for referrals. And maybe I'm old school, but in the behavioral science world that I've been in for the past 35 years, referrals need to be earned, especially high net worth client referrals. And so this takes a very, very set process and approach of identifying the client that you want that referral from, and then implementing a process over a few months in order to deliver on elements for that client that makes you completely referable. So that is absolutely essential. And in junction with that, for referrals, the very top referrals come from COIs, as you probably know, or centers of influence. And this approach needs to be run on a very, very professional level. It's not about knowing, an accountant or two or a lawyer or two. This is creating a very professionally created group of COIs or centers of influence. And then the final element in this, in all of it, right? Again, you can find out what it is to do. You can find out the structure that is necessary on a weekly basis, how much of what. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to behaviors and discipline. To be able to create the behaviors and disciplines of the very top advisors, of the top 2%. And again, I've been in this world of peak behavioral performance for the past 35 years. And anyone that currently, has behaviors that are not serving them, they can be changed. Any behavior and any doubt can be turned into a belief, into a positive behavior. And again, when you do what they do and learn what they know and practice the behaviors and disciplines that they have, at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is that you will get what they get. And that is absolute. So if you would like to set up a time to talk about your practice, work-life balance is a big part of it as well in the clients that I work with. The program is called Elite Performance Individual Coaching. We'll set up a no-cost call for you and I to go through your practice to discuss this approach, working, as more of a business partner in this process, which is my approach in working with advisors, than as a coach. But we'll go over all that and find that out in the call. I look forward to having that opportunity to sit down and have that discussion with you very soon. Until that time, I'm Randy Taylor. Have an amazing day and be well.